Hey guys, it is me, the Emerald Sword, and welcome back to another video, where today I will be reviewing Thinner by Stephen King, writing as Richard Bachman. Anyway, so Thinner is the fifth Richard Bachman book, right? It's the fourth one I've read, but it's the fifth one that Richard Bachman wrote. So anyway, it is not included in this omnibus, for whatever reason. As you can see, there's only 4 names there. Even though this book was released an entire year after Thinner came out, but Thinner is not a part of it, even though Thinner was the book that exposed Stephen King as Richard Bachman. I'm just as confused as you are. Anyway, outside of that really confusing thing, as I said, Thinner is the book that exposed Stephen King as Richard Bachman. So why did that happen? Well, after reading it, I think I know why. So, Thinner follows this guy called Billy Halleck, right? He is a very overweight lawyer. Like, I think in the book he's like 250 pounds or something, which is very overweight. That's unhealthy. And while he and his wife are in his car, he runs over a gypsy woman and kills her. And the man that she's with, who we later find out is her father, he basically touches his face and says, "Thinner." And then, yeah, so over the course of days or whatever, he loses like maybe 3 pounds a day or whatever. He starts losing weight. And at first he's like, yeah, I'm liking this. I don't have to work out or anything. I'm losing weight. And then soon enough, he starts to lose too much weight. And then he realizes he's probably going to waste away. So then he spends the entire other half of the book trying to track down the gypsy man who cursed him. Anyway, so at the end, a bunch of Stephen King shenanigans, stuff like that happens, and then he finds the gypsy man, and the gypsy man's like, okay, fine, I'll take off the curse just this once. So he gives him this pie, which needs like a blood sacrifice, and earlier in the book, he took a ball bearing to the hand, youch, and there's like a hole in his hand, so he gets the blood from the hole, puts it in the pie starts pulsing because it's like a weird supernatural pie. And then the gypsy man says that that you have to get someone else to eat this or else you will get the curse back. So it's like, okay. So then he returns home, his wife and daughter, who are happy to see him back. So he just puts the pie away, and then he goes to sleep, and then when he wakes up, he realizes that both his wife and his daughter have eaten the pie. And now this is where things get a little tricky. I don't exactly know what that means. I don't know if they have to eat the whole pie to get the curse or what, but the book ends with Billy deciding to eat the pie once again. So I don't know if he's giving himself the curse again to spare them, or if he's doing it to join them in death. I don't really know about that, but either way, he's going to eat the pie again. He's going to die either way. But, this is actually the second Bachman book I've read where the main character actually survives by the end. Well, at least for a little while. The only other one is Rage, by the way. That's weird. And, this book is really good, now let's talk about how Stephen King got exposed. I don't want to go into all the real life details of how he got exposed. When I read all the Bachman books, I eventually want to do an entire retrospective video on how Richard Bachman came to life and was discovered and all that. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I just wanted to discover what in the book particularly set people off that this was a Stephen King book. Well, for starters, Stephen King is named by name twice in the same page. Like the mention that losing weight and it's something supernatural, that's like a Stephen King story, which I thought was really funny. And then that brings us to our other point. The other Bachman books I've read so far, they're not really supernatural. They're more realistic. Like, Rage, that was just an incident at school, or Road Work, that was just a guy losing his house, or The Running Man, that was just a guy trying to stay alive. I don't know what The Long Walk is yet. I know that it's about boys trying to survive, but I haven't read it yet. So, next Bachman book, by the way, I haven't read it yet. But yeah, anyway, stay tuned for the Long Walk. Anyway, but but you get what I'm saying, right? All the other Bachman books are pretty realistic and grounded in reality, but Thinner is very much supernatural. Like, it's very supernatural. And so, of course, Stephen King is known for his supernaturalness, and Richard Bachman is not known for his supernaturalness. So, of course, that led people to think, are you Stephen King? Are you Stephen King? Are you Stephen King? And then, of course, he has to deny it because, you know, why would he confirm it like that? Anyway, and then another point is that the main character goes to Maine to find the gypsies because, you know, Maine, that's like Stephen King's staple. His home state and everything. But anyway, so that's kind of what the book tells us, that it's a Stephen King thing, even though Stephen King tried his best to tell us that he was Bachman. Although if you remember back to my Running Man video, they mentioned Derry, Maine, which is where It is in It. So I think he would have been caught for that anyway, even if Thinner hadn't come out, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, this was the book that got Stephen King exposed as Richard Bachman. So of course, after that, he decided to release this in 1985 with the first 4, for whatever reason. I don't know why Thinner's on there. I'm sure the internet has some reason for it, but I just do not know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. And now I want to talk about the movie a little bit, because I know the movie doesn't have a lot of love to it. So in 1996, they made a movie after it called Thinner. And I gotta say, whether or not you like it or not, it's one of the more accurate Stephen King movies I've ever seen. Yeah, it's pretty close to the book. There are a couple changes here and there, you know, obviously, but they're not like movie breaking or story breaking or even book breaking for that matter. It still makes sense for the most part. But yeah, book's pretty good, movie's pretty okay. And yeah, anyway, that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, I've been Ben from the Emerald Sword, and I will see you guys next time.